Hello, this is Mohammed Shahrukh. Today's vlog is about marketing analysis of Nike. Introduction to marketing dynamics. Marketing dynamics are forces that influence the price and behavior of producers, makers, and buyers, and leads to the formation of price chips. Price tags are created when both the demand and supply of particular product or service change. So marketing dynamics change the supply and demand chain. They are basis of many financial models and ideas, creative ideas. That is why the lawmakers want to determine how the economy can best be stimulated or calmed down. When it comes to changing supply or demand in economy, there are two main economic uh, applicable economic perception of supply and economic perception of demand. So let's talk about Nike company. I'm going to discuss the partial analysis, Porter's five forces, and segmentation and targeting and positioning. The company overview is Nike is an American-based multinational corporation that is founded in 1964. Nike was formerly known as Blue Ribbon Sports and founded by Bill Bowman and Phil Knight. Nike is engaged in designing, manufacturing, marketing, and sales of athletic footwear, apparels, sports equipment, sports accessories. Nike headquarters is situated in Washington, Oregon, United States of America. So there is no doubt that it is the largest sportswear and accessory company in the world. Nike has established a strong position in the competitive market. So now I'm starting. The first concept of this vlog is pastel analysis. A pastel analysis is a term used to gain a macro picture of an industry environment. Pastel stands for political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors. It allows a company to form an impression of the factors that might impact a new business or industry. So, in political factors, Nike made big profits from the US government's development oriented programs. The strategies were kept in step with low interest rates. Also, Nike maintained the currency exchange stability and global competitive tax agreements. So, as per the current scenario, Nike is confronting continuously changes in production and manufacturing laws and taxes around the world. In economics factors, um, there are some factors which affecting the Nike's performance, which is economic stability of developed markets, rapid growth in emerging markets, China's economic slowdown. For example, industrial sectors like the United States are generally stable, which suggests that Nike has the potential to grow slowly but steadily in those countries. In social factors, nowadays people are becoming uh, health conscious and very health conscious about their diet and health problems. So they are joining gyms, fitness clubs. So when people join health club, fitness club, they need shoes, fitness apparel, and other fitness equipment. So the Nike has long been in the first choice in the in the fitness industries. It creates a great opportunity for Nike. So mainly there are three factors which affect the Nike's performance as a social factor: expansion of individual wealth in developing countries, expand product safety priorities, improve the positive sense of free time. Now, if we talk about technological factors, so Nike has startlingly taken advantage of social media for advancing their brand, name, and products. But remember, that is a two-sided way. So utilize the stage accurately and appropriately. Nike additionally has a chance to use significant data based on metrics because of technology advancement that permits the organization to maximize benefit and lower the risk. If we talk about ecological factors, so there are several industrial facilities of Nike that directly hurting the climate. They discharge a lot of air pollutions and also polluting the rivers with the harmful chemicals utilized in the manufacturing process. However, Nike has worked to diminish its environmental waste by changing its present manufacturing practices. These things gives lots of relaxation to eco-friendly people. They can attract the attention of new customers by making eco-friendly products and lowering their environmental waste. If we talk about legal factors, so there are some legal factors which affect Nike's performance as like labor law modernization in developing countries, expansion of consumer law in developing countries, update on health and safety regulations. For example, improving employment in developing countries is a threat as it increases labor cost in areas with many Nike manufacturing facilities are available. However, this external factor also gives the organization the ability to enforce higher work and labor standards. So this is a complete pastel analysis of Nike. There is no question that Nike is a strong player in the athletic apparel industry and exceptionally well known among individuals because of its excellent products. As far as benefits and markets come to, the organization is doing all around well. They simply need to focus on its unethical manufacturing processes and pricing strategy. In this way, we can say that there are there are heaps of chances for Nike to get a competitive edge over its competitors as a revenue and development. So now I'm going to talk about Porter's five forces analysis on Nike. So there are mainly five forces: threat of new entrants, threat of substitutes, bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers, and competitive rivalry. So if we talk about threat of new entrants, the threat to the new business reflects how new entrants pose a threat to existing entrants. If the company is profitable and the entry restrictions for the company are low, it will attract more players and consequently the risk of new entrants entering the market is high. So Nike is constantly releasing new products to challenge newbies. In addition, the use of new technologies in continuous production and development of new sportswear sports equipment, shoes, apparels remains at the entry level of the United States market. The development of new service such as advertising incentive to attract athletes and get attention with more than half of what other industries players have to offer. Threat of substitute. Substitute is product that gives equivalent or greater usefulness by meeting similar requirements. Sports accessories, apparel, and footwear have no substitutes on the ground that these items are sought after for quite a long time and it will remain in demand for the coming hundred of years too. For Nike, the rate of subsidy is comparatively lower than the other brands. Bargaining power of suppliers. For Nike company, the suppliers' bargaining power will be considered as low. With regards to suppliers' power, it shows how strong the position of dealer is and how much the suppliers can cope with rising procurement cost. If the supplier does not follow these instructions, the contractor will be suspended. Bargaining power of buyers. The bargaining power of buyers shows that customers strive to get quality products at reasonable price and excellent customer service in unions. This power has direct impact on Nike's ability to achieve business goals. Strong bargaining power decreases productivities and makes the companies more aggressive. However, when purchasing power is weak, it decreases the company's competitiveness and increase the Nike's profitability and development opportunities. And competitive rivalry, internal competitions for Nike is tough. The importance of internal competition is to share the level of competition between existing companies. The higher the competition, the more difficult it is for current companies to make significant profit. It is said that the competition is greater when many companies of the same rank instead of less historical companies compete for customers and the market shrinks and companies compete for their business. Targeting and positioning. Market segmentation is the process of segmenting the market for potential buyers with different needs, characteristics, or behavior that may require separate marketing products or programs. A company can increase its marketing and sales efforts and enter a whole new market by using gender segmentation. For example, in this case, Nike stormed the women's sports wear market. So as you can see in the graph, segmentation, you can segment following segmentations used by Nike, including geographic segmentation, demographic segmentation, psychological segmentation, and behavior segmentation. In demographic segmentation is a technique widely used by Nike because traits are easily identifiable and quantifiable, are available from many sources such as the government, population, and relate to sporting situations such as participating in a competition or watching sport. As a geographical is a simple but powerful basis for division. Nike divides the market into different types based on regions, countries, cities, and popularity. Notably, for example, all advertising in the United States is related to soccer and baseball, while in Europe, advertising is related to soccer only. Nike, if we talk about behavioral segmentation, Nike on the other end focuses on how its products affect consumer sentiments. The company clearly follows the guidelines. If you have a body, you are an athlete, and if you are an athlete, Nike products makes you feel like an athlete. So Nike encourages customers loyalty to buy the company's products regularly by offering unique quality and many innovative products to choose from. Psychographic segmentation. Nike uses psychological segmentation to target customers based on activity level, lifestyle, interest, and personalities. Mainly aimed at active individuals who love sports, who play sports regularly, are athletes and sports enthusiasts who are often a part of their lives. Now if we talk about target market, the company should target on the market based on brand reputation and quality in different markets. Therefore, the company focuses on high end markets, high income groups, the age groups like 16 to 24, urban regions, sports players. Therefore, the market segment its focus is on, it's very important to differentiate itself from its competitors, namely regional brands like Bata, Reebok, Fila, and Puma. If we talk about positioning, the Nike brand has established itself in the minds of consumers as a high end product that is very expensive but offers good value for money through service, quality, and design. Aside from that, real sporting successes, preservation of originality, honesty, and purity. Products and activities have to be sports, global standards of performance. All this analysis leads to customer satisfaction, thus the Nike loyalty in order to achieve the high volume of profitability. So thank you for watching this vlog.